Wakanya, Jerusalem. Stand and face Jerusalem. Mashiach's Falal, Lord's Prayer. Banasaya 1. Abal. Hawashai Nawa. Mayan. Rai. Kaya. Laka. Hamalakwa. Wahak Allah. Wahatapa Ara. The Iwalamyam. Ba'asham. Hamashiach. Yahushai. The water. Aman.
The book of St. Matthew, chapter 6, verse 9. After this manner, therefore, pray ye, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. For if you give men their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you forgive men not their trespasses, neither will thy Father forgive your trespasses. Abonai Haba Shema Sek Yahushai, the water from Yad. Amen.
Amen. Be seated. Shabbat Shalom Yasharala.
Shabbat Shalom.
Kan. All praises to the Most High by Shamash Gawashai, the water for another Shabbat day. And the Most High brings us together in holy convocation as per the covenant that he made with our forefathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We are the Light of Zion, located down in South Florida, West Broward. Located at 2937 West Broward Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale. Okay, I'm Elder Lapala.
I'm Captain Yakazak.
Ankan. We're going to start today's lesson in the book of 1 Kings, chapter 1. An era in which Israel had departed from a rulership of judges and now was conforming to the ways that the heathens governed their land by a king. Because Israel, due to a stubbornness and being seduced by the ways of the other nations, requested of Samuel to plead to the Most High to rule just like the heathens run about them do. Not by the judgments that the Most High gave to Israel, but by having a king ruling over them. Which angered Samuel, but the Most High said, you know what, Samuel, don't worry about it. Give them what they want, and then they'll see if we see the benefit or not. So we are at the stage now where we're going to reflect on those things. Of course, it started with Saul, being the first king of Israel, right? Then David, and then Solomon. There were three kings who ruled over Israel as a united kingdom, united nation. And after that, the kingdom was split. So let's start with Colossians 3, verse 17.
The book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 17. And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Adonai Yahushua, giving thanks to the power and the Father by him.
Right, whatever you do in word or deed, meaning what? Whatever you say, whatever action you take, make sure they're in accordance with the scriptures, according to the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, and the teachings of the Mashiach, the Hawashai. Okay? Let's start off in 1 Kings chapter 1.
The book of 1 Kings, chapter 1, verse 1. Now, King David was old and stricken in years, and they covered him with clothes, but he got no heed.
Now, King David was old and stricken in years, and they covered him with clothes, but he got no heed. Read on.
Wherefore his servants said unto him, Let there be sought for my Adon the king a young virgin, and let her stand before the king, and let her cherish him, and let her lie in thy bosom, that my Adawan the king may get heat. So they sought for a fair damsel throughout all the coasts of Israel, and found Abishag, the Shunamite, and brought her to the king. And the damsel was very fair, and cherished the king, and ministered to him. But the king knew her not.
Right, so the king was old in age, stricken in age. That so the king got no heat. What does that mean? Get a temperature, a fever, or he was getting old in age where he couldn't be with a woman anymore in that form. So they sought for a young damsel, probably would entice him, revigorate him. But she cherished him, kissed him and all that, and laid with him. But he knew her not because due to age, he wasn't able to perform like that anymore. Okay, that's that.
When it says it ministered to him, does that mean that she was like showing the word to him when it says minister? Or just talking?
No. No, she was trying to be intimate with him. Affectionate and intimate with him. So like like a woman down the line with a man. She was. That was a purpose. That was a purpose of them finding her a young damsel. Find young damsel. Finding young damsel was which most likely a man would be excited. Would bring some excitement to a man as far as intimacy. But to lose his age, he was getting up over there in age now. So his body wasn't able to react like that. His body wasn't able to react the way his mind was. It was like a coordination between his body and mind. What you were saying? Say something?
I was going to say, when you look at the word minister means to serve. That's why we earlier in the verse it said that they're going to take this young damsel and she's going to stand before his side. So if he needs water, she's the first one to go get it, and she's going to cherish him before his side. You understand? So when it said ministered, she ministered David. It means she served David. To every will he had, everything he had to do, everything she had to do for him.
Yeah, but a bit more than that. The kind of servant, David already had servants to do all his bidding and all that. Also, it's the kind of a ministry that she was summoned to do was to cherish him and be affectionate to him in an intimate form, where to see if you get aroused and so on. Understand that's what this was alluding to specifically. Read on verse 5.
Then Adonijah the son of Haggith exalted himself, saying, I will be king. And he prepared him chariots and horsemen, 50 men to run before him. And his father had not displeased him at any time in saying, Why hast thou done so? And he also was a very goodly man. And his mother buried him after Absalom.
See that now? So in David's household, he had all kind of ambitious sons. Who try to usurp authority, not waiting for the king to anoint them to succeed him. So this Adonijah, the son of Haggith, he said, I'm going to be king. So he got 50 men to run before him to Israel, and a chariot and all that, chariots of horsemen, portrayed himself to be the success of David. And David didn't say anything about it to him. And his mother bare him after Absalom. So this is also Absalom. So this is the second son of Haggith. It seems that our sons are overly ambitious, because we recall it's Absalom who tried to overthrow David previously, and now the second son is trying to do the same thing. I read on.
Verse 7. And he conferred with Joab, the son of Zeruiah, with Abiathar, the priest, and they following Adonijah helped him. But Zadok the priest, and Benaiah the son of Jehoiada, and Nathan the prophet, and Shimei, and Rei, and the mighty men which belonged to David were not with Adonijah.
Right. So this Adonijah, was trying to get influential men on his side to influence the people, to win the people over on his side. So first he got Joab. Joab was the mighty man, was David's armor bearer. So he was able to get Joab. He got and Abiathar the priest. So he got two influential men to take his side as a possible successor to David. But Zadok the priest, and Benaiah the son of Jehoiada, and Nathan the prophet, and Shimei and Rei, and the mighty men which belonged to David were not with Adonijah. So a lot of people were not with him. He got some prominent people on his side, but a lot of prominent people still were not with him. Read on.
And Adonijah slew sheep and oxen and fed cattle by the stone of Zoe he left, which is by En Rogel, and called all his brethren the king's sons, and all the men of Judah the king's servants. But Nathan the prophet, and Benaiah and the mighty men, and Solomon his brother, he called not.
See that? He called as the brothers to, we're making a mighty feast, kill all kind of oxen and sheep and goats and cattle and all that. Prepared them a big feast and invited very important and prominent people, including his siblings, brothers, and all that. Except he didn't invite Nathan, and he didn't invite Solomon. I don't know why he didn't invite Solomon. Maybe he realizes David kind of favored Solomon, and Solomon wouldn't approve of it or something. There was some kind of enmity, subtle enmity, whatever, between him and his brothers and Solomon. Read on.
Verse 11. Wherefore Nathan spake unto Bathsheba, the mother of Solomon, saying, Hast thou not heard that Adonijah the son of Haggith doeth reign, and David our Lord knoweth it not? Now therefore come, let me, I pray thee, give thee counsel, that thou mayest save thy own life, and the life of thy son Solomon.
Right, so why did Nathan think that way?
Because it was...
He knew, right. He knew, he knew what was up. He knew there was a jealousy of Solomon because supposedly David preferred Solomon, and David was kind of leaning towards appointing Solomon to succeed him, and Adonijah was aware of that, so he didn't invite Solomon, but he invited all his other brothers. So Nathan the prophet was concerned about that, and was concerned about the safety of Solomon and Bathsheba. So he advised us. So he was about to advise us to what to do to save their life, because if Adonijah became king, that would be their demise. Read on.
Verse 13. Go and get thee unto King David, and say unto him, Didst not thou, my Adon, O king, swear unto thy handmaid, saying, Assuredly Solomon thy son shall reign after me, and he shall sit upon my throne? Why then doth Adonijah reign? Behold, while thou yet talkest there with the king, I also will come in after thee, and confirm thy words. And Bathsheba went in unto the king into the chamber, and the king was very old. And Abishai the Shunammite ministered unto the king. And Bathsheba bowed and did obeisance unto the king. And the king said, What wouldest thou?
Right, so Nathan advised Bathsheba to go in unto the king and to remind the king that he promised to appoint Solomon to be successful when David is dead. But right now about Adonijah seems to be the one who's about to rule. So she went to David, and David was, what's going on? Read on.
Verse 17. And she said unto him, My lord, thou swearest by the Lord thy God unto thy handmaid, saying, Assuredly Solomon thy son shall reign after me, and he shall sit upon my throne. And now, behold, Adonijah reigneth, and now, my lord the king, thou knowest it not? And he hath slain oxen and fat cattle and sheep in abundance, and hath called all the sons of the king, and Abiathar the priest, and Joab the captain of the host. But Solomon thy servant hath he not called. And thou, my other one, O king, the eyes of all Israel are upon thee, that thou shouldest tell them who shall sit on thy throne of my lord the king after him.
Right. Shalom, sisters. We're in the book of 1 Kings chapter 1, verse 20. Yeah. Right, so Bathsheba was for letting David know what was going on. That Adonijah reigneth without David's consent and knowledge. And you got Abiathar the priest and Joab the captain of the host on his side. So what's David going to do? What's David going to do? Because David has sworn by the Most High that Solomon was going to be the king after him. Read on, verse 21.
Otherwise it shall come to pass, when my idol one the king shall sleep with his fathers, that I and my son Solomon shall be counted offenders.
Right. So when David is dead, there should be hostility going towards Solomon and Bathsheba. Read on.
And lo, while she yet talked with the king, Nathan the prophet also came in, and they told the king, saying, Behold, Nathan the prophet. And when he was come in before the king, he bowed himself before the king with his face to the ground. And Nathan said, My lord, O king, hast thou said, Adonijah shall reign after me, and he shall sit upon my throne? For he is gone down this day, and have slain oxen and fat cattle, and sheep in abundance, and have called all the king's sons, and the captains of the host, and Abiathar the priest, and behold, they eat and drink before him, and say, God save the king, Adonijah.
Right, so while Bathsheba was there talking to the king, then Nathan the prophet came in, and I repeated the same thing that Bathsheba told David about Adonijah trying to be king. Always prepared a feast and invited all the prominent men, and the people basically about us just gave him their blessing. Read on.
For he is gone down this day, and have slain oxen and fat cattle and sheep in abundance, and have called all the king's sons and captains of hosts, and Abiathar the priest, and behold, they eat and drink before him, and say, God save the king Adonijah. But me, even me thy servant, and Zadok the priest, and Benaiah the son of Jehoiada, and thy servant Solomon, hath he not called? Is this thing done by my lord the king, and thou hast not shown it unto thy servant, who shall sit on the throne of my lord the king after him? Then King David answered and said, Call me Bathsheba. And she came into the king's presence, and stood before the king. And the king sware and said, As the Lord liveth, that have redeemed my soul out of all my distress, even as I swore unto thee by the other one power of Israel, saying, Assuredly Solomon thy son shall reign after me, and he shall sit upon my throne in my stead. Even so will I certainly do this day.
Right, so David called Bathsheba and reiterated to her what he told her previously, that surely Solomon, his son, and her son shall reign after him. Read on.
Then Bathsheba bowed with her face to the earth, and did reverence the king. and said, "Let my Adawan, King David, live forever." And King David said, "Call me Zadok the priest, and Nathan the prophet, and Benaiah the son of Jehoiada." And they came before the king. And the king also said unto them, "Take with you the servants of your Lord, and cause Solomon my son to ride upon my own mule, and bring him down to Gihon. And let Zadok the priest and Nathan the prophet anoint him there, king over all over Israel. And blow ye with the trumpet, and say, The Most High saved King Solomon. Then he shall come up after him, that he may come and sit upon my throne. For he shall be king in my stead. And I have appointed him to be ruler over Israel and over Judah."
Right, so David was organizing the transition of his rulership to Solomon. He was Zadok the people to anoint Solomon, and that Solomon was to ride up on David's mule in Israel, in the sight of all the people. Understand? And so the people will see. Since Solomon riding up on David's mule and being anointed by Nathan the prophet and Zadok the priest. So this got to be real. Okay? And then they're going to bring him up after the anointing, they're going to bring him back to the palace to sit upon the throne. Let's see how this plays out. Read on.
And Benaiah the son of Jehoiada answered the king and said, "Aman, the Adawan power of my lord, the king, say so too. As the Adawan hath been with my lord, the king, even so be he with Solomon, and make his throne greater than the throne of my lord, King David." So Zadok the priest, and Nathan the prophet, and Benaiah the son of Jehoiada, and the Kerethites, and the Pelethites, went down and caused Solomon to ride upon King David's mule and brought him to Gihon. And Zadok the priest took an horn of oil out of the tabernacle and appointed Solomon. And Zadok the priest took an horn of oil out of the tabernacle and appointed Solomon. Oh, I keep saying appointed. And went down and caused Solomon to ride upon the King David's mule and brought him to Gihon. And Zadok the priest took a horn of oil out of the tabernacle and anointed Solomon. And they blew the trumpet, and all the people said, "The Most High saved King Solomon." And all the people came up after him, and the people piped with pipes and rejoiced with great joy, so that the earth went rent with the sound of them. And Adonijah and all the guests that were with him.
So the anointing was very, loud situation. You know what I mean? So the earth rent with the sound of them, and all the people came up after him, and the people piped with pipes and rejoiced with great joy, so that the earth rent with the sound of them. So they were very loud. So that this reverberated throughout all the kingdom, all of Israel. So everyone was aware that Solomon just got anointed by Nathan the prophet and Zadok the priest, and was riding up on his father, King David's mule, and was about to go back to the palace to sit upon the throne. So we can see right now the transition was made from David to Solomon. Read verse 41.
And Adonijah and all the guests that were with him heard it, as they had made an end of eating. And when Joab heard the sound of the trumpet, he said, "Wherefore is this noise of the city being in an uproar?" And while he yet spake, behold, Jonathan the son of Abiathar, the priest, came. And Adonijah said unto him, "Come in, for thou art a valiant man, and bringest good tidings." And Jonathan answered and said to Adonijah, "Verily, our Adawan, King David, hath made Solomon king."
Right, that's not the good news that Adonijah wanted to hear. That's not the news he wanted to hear. He didn't want to hear that David had just anointed Solomon to be king. Right.
And the king have sent with him Zadok the priest, and Nathan the prophet, and Benaiah the son of Jehoiada, and the Cherhites, and the Pelites. And they have caused him to ride upon the king's mule. And Zadok the priest and Nathan the prophet have appointed him king in Gihon. Have anointed him king in Gihon. And they are come up from thence rejoicing, so that the city rang again. This is the noise that ye have heard. And also Solomon sitteth on the throne of the kingdom. And moreover, the king's servants came to bless our Adon King David, saying, The Most High make the name of Solomon better than thy name, and make his throne greater than thy throne. And the king bowed himself upon the bed.
Right, so let them know with no uncertain terms that Solomon just got anointed by Nathan the prophet and Zadok the priest, and rode up on David's mule and was now sitting on the throne. And the people was very appreciative of that, respectful of that, and was rejoicing through all Israel. That's a noise that they were hearing. Read on.
Verse 48. And also thus said the king, Blessed be thy one power of Israel, which have given one to sit on my throne this day. My eyes even seeing it. And all the guests that were with Adonijah were afraid, and rose up, and went every man his way.
Right, so the guests that was there at the feast said, they saw them be very concerned for their own safety, because they said, hey, if Solomon is ruling now, then he got the backing of the state behind him. So all those people who were there trying to anoint Adonijah, they were in jeopardy of losing their lives. So the people, they discreetly just fled and just left Adonijah hanging. Let them live there with Joab. Read.
Verse 50. And Adonijah feared because of Solomon, and arose and went and caught hold on the horns of the altar. And it was told Solomon, saying, Behold, Adonijah...
Adonijah feared because of Solomon, and arose and went and caught hold of the horns of the altar. So he went to the altar. Remember that he became afraid because the mighty men of Israel did not go with Adonijah, which were the warriors, the army. Understand? The captain of the army, he had gone with Adonijah, which was Joab. But the mighty men, the valiant men, they didn't go. Understand? So those mighty men were not backing Solomon. So anyone who was in opposition to Solomon, must be very concerned for their own safety. All right. So Adonijah was aware of that. So what did he do? He ran to the altar, went to the synagogue, went to the temple, went to the altar. You know what I mean? Thinking that he's going to be safe there. At least nobody's going to come in there and kill him. Let's see what happens. Read on.
Verse 50. And Adonijah feared because of Solomon, and arose and went and caught hold on the horns of the altar. And it was told Solomon, saying, Behold, Adonijah feareth King Solomon. For, lo, he hath caught hold on the horns of the altar, saying, Let the King Solomon swear unto me today that he will not slay his servant with the sword. And Solomon said, If he will show himself a worthy man, there shall not a hair of him fall to the earth. But if wickedness shall be found in him, he shall die. So King Solomon sent, and they brought him down from the altar. And he came and bowed himself to King Solomon. And Solomon said unto him, Go to thine house.
Right, so Solomon was told, hey, Adonijah fear you. He's holding on to the horns of the altar right now, pleading for his life. Solomon was merciful. He said, if he showed himself to be a righteous man and repent and acknowledge that he did something wrong, no harm will come to him. But if wickedness will be found in him, he shall die. So Adonijah, vowed to Solomon, was resentful, was repentant of what he did, and Solomon said, go home, don't worry about it. Okay, now let's see what happens further. So let's go to chapter 2.
Book of 1 Kings chapter 2 verse 1. Now the days of David drew nigh that he should die, and he charged Solomon his son, saying, I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong therefore, and show thyself a man, and keep the charge of the outer one thy power, to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes, and his commandments, and his judgments, and his testimonies, as it is written in the law of Moses, that thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest, and whithersoever thou turnest thyself, that the outer one may continue his word which he spake concerning me, saying, if thy children take heed to their way, to walk before me in truth with all their heart and with all their soul, there shall not fail thee, said he, a man on the throne of Israel. Moreover, thou knowest also what Joab the son of Zeruiah did to me, what he did to the two captains of the host of Israel, unto Abner the son of Ner, and unto Amasa the son of Jether, whom he slew and shed the blood of war in peace, and put the blood of war upon his girdle that was about his loins, and in his shoes that were on his feet. Do therefore according to thy wisdom, and let not his hoary head go down to the grave in peace. But show kindness unto the sons of Barzillai, the Gilead, and let them be of those that eat at thy table. For so they came to me when I fled because of Absalom thy brother. And
Right, all right. See, yeah, right. So now David was very old in age. He saw that he's about to die, so he's giving Solomon was imparting some wisdom and advice to Solomon, who was now king of Israel. First, he told Solomon to rule in wisdom and to rule in accordance with the commandments of the Most High, so that the Most High will bless Solomon through his rulership, and will fulfill all the promises that the Most High made to David, that if his sons keep the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments, then they shall rule Israel perpetually. And he also reminded Solomon about particularly of Joab, who was the captain of the host, and the dirty deeds that Joab did. Joab went against David, ruled against him. He slew the two princes of the previous kingdom, who was the armor bearers of Saul. And he also slew Absalom when David advised him not to. And we did all kind of atrocious things because he was the captain of the host, so he had a military behind him. So David was I'm saying somewhat fearful of Joab, because he was a king, but Joab was a general, a captain of the host. So you have to be concerned about Joab. But now he's telling Solomon, remember all those things, and don't let him live in peace. Let him not go down to his grave in peace. Read on.
But show kindness unto the sons of Barzillai the Gilead, and let them be of those that eat at thy table. For so they came to me when I fled because of Absalom thy brother. And behold, thou hast with the Shimei the son of Gera, a Benjamite of Baharim, that cursed me with a grievous curse in the day when I went to Mahanaim. But he came down to me at Jordan, and I swear to him by the outer one, saying, I will not put thee to death with the sword. Now therefore, hold him not guiltless, for thou art a wise man, and knowest what thou oughtest to do unto him. But his hoary head bring down to the grave with blood. So David slept with his fathers and was buried in the city of David. And the days that David reigned over Israel were 40 years. 7 years reigned he in Hebron, and 33 years reigned he in Jerusalem.
Right, so David reigned 40 years, 7 years in Hebron, and 33 years in Jerusalem. Just like Saul. Saul reigned 40 years also. Okay, so we can see right away that the first two kings of Israel ruled for 40 years each. Saul and David. Read.
Then sat Solomon upon the throne of David his father, and
See, what the read? See, people may think that David was holding a grudge when he was saying Solomon to, hey, don't let Joab go down to the grave. Don't live in peace. And this Benjamin, don't let him live in peace. But David was looking up at Solomon's welfare because he knew all those things that those two men did to David, they do to him. So it was advising him to take preemptive action against his men, get him out of the way, because they may be a thorn in his side going forward. Because these two men were enemies of David, even not one overtly and one covertly. You know what I'm saying? Right, Joab was kind of covert about things. He didn't totally obey David, according to what David wanted it. He did certain things which were which could ruin the reputation of David and destroy his credibility with the people. So David was advising Solomon of those things and what he should do to those two men, so he doesn't have those same problems. I'll read on.
Then sat Solomon upon the throne of David his father, and his kingdom was established greatly. And Adonijah the son of Haggith came to Bathsheba, the mother of Solomon, and she said, Comest thou peacefully? And he said, Peacefully. And he said, Moreover, I have somewhat to say unto thee. And she said, Say on. And he said, Thou knowest that the kingdom was mine, and that all Israel set their faces on me, that I should reign. How did the kingdom is turned about, and has become my brother's? For it was his from the Lord. And now I ask one petition of thee. Deny me not. And she said unto him, Say on. And he said, Speak, I pray thee, unto Solomon the king, for he will not say thee nay, that he give me Abishai the Shunammite to wife.
And this guy was up to mischief again. First, he was still fuming over the fact that he wasn't king. Saying, hey, the king was supposed to be mine, but that's all right. I consider him, it was Church of Solomon, but it was a Most High's will. It was kind of, contradicting himself. If it was yours, then it was the Most High's will that Solomon got it. How could it have been yours? Now he's asking Bathsheba to influence Solomon to give him Abishag. Abishag. She was the young damsel that they sought throughout all Israel to be affectionate to David. Right. So now he wants her for his wife. So read on verse 18.
Okay, verse 16.
Go ahead.
Solomon already spoke to Adonijah. He told him, if you're a respectful man, if you're worthy of remaining alive, if I don't push you to death for all the wickedness you're already doing by claiming the kingdom for yourself before David actually passed it on to you, right? But he was actually bringing up wickedness for himself by asking for Abishai, because we know that she was given to David to be a wife, right? So what happened with David when he took the throne from Saul? He obtained Saul's wives after he died, right? So this was really a mark to try to take the kingdom again by trying to take David's wife, Abishai, right?
I read on verse 18.
And Bathsheba said, Well, I will speak for thee unto the king. And Bathsheba therefore went unto King Solomon to speak unto him for Adonijah. And the king rose up to meet her, and bowed himself unto her, and sat down.
See that the king bowed himself unto her. That was his mom. So I mean, so she was the one who was very instrumental in him getting the kingdom. Understand? So normally no one knows. The king doesn't bow to anyone, but that was his mother who raised him up. You know what I'm saying? And she showed him the love, and she was very instrumental in saving his life and the kingdom. So he was showing his respect unto her. It's not that he would go around bowing to any other woman in Israel. I read on.
And the king rose up to meet her, and bowed himself unto her, and sat down on his throne, and caused a seat to be set for the king's mother, and she sat on his right hand. Then she said, I desire one small petition of thee. I pray thee, say me not nay. And the king said unto her, Ask on, my mother, for I will not say thee nay. And she said, Let Abiashai the Shunammite be given to Adonijah thy brother to wife. And King Solomon answered and said unto his mother, And why doest thou ask Abiashai the Shunammite for Adonijah? Ask for him the kingdom also, for he is my elder brother, even for him, and for Abiathar the priest, and for Joab the son of Zeruiah.
Right. So Solomon's kind of upset that his mother was asking for Abishag to be Adonijah's wife. And Solomon's kind of said, well, what? And the king Solomon answered and said unto his mother, And why dost thou ask Abishag the Shunammite for Adonijah? As for him the kingdom also, so you want to give him the kingdom too? First want to give him the wife, the woman for his wife, and the kingdom also. For he is mine elder brother, even for him, and for Abiathar the priest, and for Joab the son. Let me see if I get this. As for him the kingdom all. For he is mine elder brother, okay, even for him, and for Abiathar the priest, and for Joab the son of Zeruiah. Let me see. Let me get this. All these men right here are enemies. Okay, are enemies of men who turn against David, who were now potentially Solomon's enemies also. For he is mine elder brother, even for him, and for Abiathar the priest, and for Joab. Okay, so she was saying that then all these men now would be in rulership. You want to give the kingdom to these men also to my elder brother Adonijah, and Abiathar the priest, and for Joab the son of Zeruiah. I read on.
Then King Solomon sware by the other one, saying, The Most High do so to me, and more also, if Adonijah have not spoken this word against his own life.
All right, so Solomon said, all right, that's it. And they said that's the straw that broke the camel's back. Yep. That's the last straw. Man, I gave you a chance. I gave you a chance. I was willing to show you mercy. I told you that if there's a wickedness found in you, that's going to be your demise. That's going to be your death. And I can see right now, there's wickedness found in you. For going to my mother to have her request of me to have this woman for your wife. Read.
Now therefore, as the other one liveth, which have established me and set me on the throne of David my father, and who have made me an house as he hath promised, Adonijah shall he be put to death this day. And King Solomon sent by the hand of Benaiah the son of Jehoiada, and he fell upon him that he died.
Right, so Solomon sent by the hand of Benaiah the son of Jehoiada, and he fell by him and he died. So these men are mighty men. This Benaiah the son of Jehoiada. These are mighty men that did not go with Adonijah. but kept loyal to David and subsequently loyal to Solomon. So that was the end of Adonijah's life. Read on.
And unto Abiathar the priest said the king, Get thee to Anath unto thine own fields, for thou art worthy of death. But I will not at this time put thee to death.
Well, and unto Abiathar the priest. Okay. So he said Abiathar he was worthy of death also, but he was not going to kill him right away. Read on.
I will not at this time put thee to death, because thou bearest the ark of the Adon power before David my father, and because thou hast been afflicted in all wherein my father was afflicted. So Solomon thrust out Abiathar from being priest unto the Adon, that he might fulfill the word of the Adon which he spake concerning the house of Eli and Shiloh. Then tidings came to Joab.
So Solomon was very merciful. He knew that what Abiathar did was worthy of death, but because of Abiathar was being loyal to David for a while, and he was priest of Israel for a while, so those kind of worked in his favor. So Solomon was able to you know what, you're worthy of death, but I'm going to show you mercy because of the good deeds that you've done to Israel through my father's rulership. So I'm just going to send you back to your home. You're no longer priest of Israel. You're worthy of death, but I'm going to grant you mercy and send you back to your territory. Read on.
Then tidings came to Joab, for Joab had turned after Adonijah, though he turned not after Absalom. And Joab fled unto the tabernacle of the Adon, and caught hold on the horns of the altar.
So Joab was now doing the same thing that Adonijah did, holding on to the temple of the Most High, holding on to because he knew that all it's a lot. Solomon he's on the Solomon's hit list. You understand? So he's on the Solomon. He knew what he did, all the evil he did, and that it was on Solomon's hit list. I read on.
And it was told King Solomon that Joab was fled unto the tabernacle of the Adon, and behold, he is by the altar. Then Solomon sent Benaiah the son of Jehoiada, saying, Go, fall upon him. And Benaiah came to the tabernacle of the Adon, and said unto him, Thus saith the king, Come forth. And he said, Nay, but I will die here. And Benaiah brought the king word again, saying, Thus said Joab, thus he answered me. And the king said unto him, Do as he hath said, and fall upon him, and bury him, that thou mayest take away the innocent blood which Joab shed from me, and from the house of my father. And the Lord shall return his blood upon his own head, who fell upon two men more righteous and better than he, and slew them with the sword, my father David, not knowing thereof, to wit.
Yeah, because when he slew those two Benjamites, all Israel was mourning, all Israel was wrought for that. So David had to basically make peace with all Israel and basically wash his hands from the matter. Let Israel know I got nothing to do with it. David was lamenting, was fasting for days, let the people know these two men are princes. I have no knowledge of it. I did not order it. That was all Joab's doing. So all those were things that Joab was guilty of, which made him worthy of death. I read on.
Abner the son of Ner, captain of the host of Israel, and Amasa the son of Jether, captain of the host of Judah. Their blood shall therefore return upon the head of Joab, and upon the head of his seed forever. But upon David, and upon his seed, and upon his house, and upon his throne, shall there be peace forever from the Adon. So Benaiah the son of Jehoiada went up and fell upon him, and slew him, and he was buried in his own house in the wilderness. And the king put Benaiah the son of Jehoiada in his room over the host, and Zadok the priest the king put in the room of Abiathar. And the king sent.
Right, so they were changing up the guard, so to speak, right? Zadok became the new priest of Israel, and Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, was now the captain of the host of Israel. Read on.
And the king sent and called for Shimei, and said unto him, Build thee a house in Jerusalem, and dwell there, and go not forth thence any whither. For it shall
So
be.
who's the Shimei? You're supposed to this is the Benjamin who are cursed. Read on, you see what
And the king sent and called for Shimei, and said unto him, Build thee a house in Jerusalem, and dwell there, and go not forth thence any whither. For it shall be that on the day that thou goest out and passest over the brook Kidron, thou shalt know for certain that thou shalt surely die. Thy blood shall be upon thy own head. And Shimei said unto the king,
I think this is let's go back and find out exactly who Shimei is. I think Shimei's that Benjamin will curse David, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so Solomon was saying, you're gonna do. I want to keep an eye on you. You're a very mischievous guy. I don't want you going all over the place, because Solomon was fearful that if Shimei went all over the place, would gather people, enemies, gather enemies to him who were going to be hostile to Solomon. So I want you to stay, to build a house in Jerusalem, stay there, so I can keep an eye on you, so I can know what you're up to. But if I find out that you have left Jerusalem, that's going to be the end of you. Read on. Read 37 again.
For it shall be that on the day that thou goest out and passest over the brook of Kidron, that thou shalt know for certain that thou shalt surely die. Thy blood shall be upon thy own head. And Shimei said unto the king, The saying is good. As my one the king hath said, so will thy servant do. And Shimei dwelt in Jerusalem many days. And it came to pass at the end of 3 years that two of the servants of Shimei ran away unto Achish, son of Machir, king of Gath. And they told Shimei, saying, Behold, thy servants be in Gath. And Shimei arose and saddled his donkey and went to Gath to Achish to seek his servants. And Shimei went and brought his servants from Gath. And it was told Solomon that Shimei had gone from Jerusalem to Gath and was come again. And the king sent and called for Shimei and said unto him, Did I not make thee to swear by the other one, and protested unto thee, saying, Know for certain, on the day that thou goest out and walkest abroad any whither, that thou shalt surely die? And thou saidest unto me, The word that I have heard is good. Why then hast thou not kept the oath of the other one, and the commandment that I have charged thee with?
Right, so Shimei's two of his servants run away unto the king of Gath. Who's Gath? Can we get a map of who this Gath is? Must be a neighbor. The fact that it says king means that it's a different nation.
So it's right next to Judah.
Where's Gath? Okay, Gath. Okay, Gath. That's in Philistine. Okay, so Gath is right, neighboring state, which is the Philistine, territory of the Philistine. So Shimei's two servants run away to king of Gath. Shimei went there and got his two servants, but by doing that, it was it was in violation of the agreement that they made with Solomon that they wouldn't leave Jerusalem and go anywhere. What they should have done was to let Solomon know what would happen, and then see what Solomon would chose to handle that. If Solomon would give him permission to go, or would send somebody else to go get them. But I guess he thought, hey, I'm not going to stay long. I'm just going to get him come back, which he did. But that wasn't good enough for Solomon. Solomon said, Didn't I tell you not to leave Jerusalem? And if it did, what would happen to you? So let's see what happened now.
Why then hast thou not kept the oath of the odd one, and the commandment that I have charged thee with? The king said unto Shimei, Thou knowest all the wickedness which in thy heart is privy to, that thou didst to David my father. Therefore the odd one shall return thy wickedness upon thy own head. And King Solomon shall be blessed, and the throne of David shall be established before the odd one forever. So the king commanded Benaiah the son of Jehoiada, which went out and fell upon him, that he died. And the kingdom was established in the hand of Solomon.
Right. So that was it. Let's go to chapter 3. Maybe we have time for chapter 3 before we take down there and start taking questions. So far, the only one who escaped the wrath of Solomon was Abiathar. Because Abiathar, previously, he hadn't done much evil. Plus, he had gone through the hard times with David, when David was running from Absalom and the people who tried to overthrow him. So the only violation that Abiathar basically did was to side with Adonijah. Understand? So that's why the situation is somewhat different. But these men, Shimei and Joab, these men have historically done evil, against David, or were conspiring against David in many ways. Read on. Chapter 3.
The book of 1 Kings, chapter 3, verse 1. And Solomon made an affinity with Pharaoh's king of Egypt, and took Pharaoh's daughter and brought her into the city of David, until he had made an end of building his own house, and the house of the other one, and the wall of Jerusalem round about. Only the people sacrificed in high places, because there was no house built.
Verse 1, it says, Solomon made affinity with Pharaoh, king of Egypt. What's affinity? Huh? No, affinity, a treaty, agreement. Yeah, because it's customary for kings of different territories to have kind of treaties which were done through marriages. Shalom. Yeah, with the daughter, with the daughter of one king, son of another king. They were married. They were intermarried. So as a family form alliances. Alliances are friendship. That wasn't unusual back then. Even though technically this was against the commandment of the Most High, because she was of another nation. The Most High forbade Israel from marrying people of other nations. Okay, but this is what Solomon did. He married the daughter of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and brought her into the city of David until he had made an end of building his own house, and the house of the Most High, and the wall of Jerusalem round about. Read on verse 2.
Only the people sacrificed in high places, because there was no house built unto the name of the other one until those days. And Solomon loved the other one, walking in the statutes of David his father. Only he sacrificed and burned incense in high places. And the king went to Gibeon to sacrifice there, for that was the great high place. 1,000 burnt offerings did Solomon offer upon that altar.
Right, so Solomon was walking in the ways of the Most High because David had instructed him. Make sure you walk in the ways of the Most High, so your house will stay blessed. And the Most High will keep the promises that he made to me, that once my sons after me keep his laws, then they shall not fail anyone to rule upon the throne of David. Read on.
In Gibeon, the other one appeared to Solomon in a dream by night. And the Most High said, Ask what I shall give thee. And Solomon said,
So while Solomon was in Gibeon, the Most High appeared to him in a dream by night and asked him, hey, what do you wish? What do you wish for? Basically. You know, let's see what Solomon wanted.
And Solomon said, Thou hast shown unto thy servant David my father great mercy, according as he walked before thee in truth, and in righteousness, and in uprightness, of heart with thee. And thou hast kept for him this great kindness, that thou hast given him a son to sit on his throne, as it is this day. And now, O Adonai, my power, thou hast made thy servant king instead of David my father, and I am but a little child. I know not how to go out or come in. And thy servant is in the midst of thy people, which thou hast chosen, a great people, that cannot be numbered nor counted for multitude. Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad. For who is able to judge this thine so great a people? And the speech pleased the other one, that Solomon had asked this thing.
Right, so the Most High asked Solomon, what do you wish for? Solomon was kind of humbled himself and said, I'm like a little child. I haven't got the experience or the wisdom, knowledge, or ability to rule over this great people. So I'm asking you to just give me the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, so I can, be able to rule over this great people. And the Most High was pleased with that request. Because Solomon didn't ask for riches, he didn't ask for power, he didn't ask for more wives, he didn't ask for more wealth, you know what I'm saying? So he asked for what? The ability, right, to govern the Most High's people as a servant of the Most High. And that pleased the Most High. Read on.
And the speech pleased the other one, that Solomon had asked this thing. And the Most High said unto him, Because thou hast asked this thing, and hast not asked for thyself long life, neither hast thou asked riches for thyself, nor hast asked the life of thine enemies, but hast asked for thyself understanding to discern judgment. Behold, I have done according to thy words. Lo, I have given thee a wise and understanding heart, so that there was none like thee before thee, neither after thee shall any arise like unto thee. And I have also given thee that which thou hast not asked, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be any among the kings like unto thee all thy days. And if thou wilt walk in my ways to keep my statutes and my commandments, as thy father David walked then, I will lengthen thy days.
See that? So the Most High said, it's great that you ask for understanding and wisdom and understanding. You didn't ask for length of life, you didn't ask for wealth, you didn't ask for the life of your enemies. Understand? I'm going to grant you all that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding you asked for, plus I'm going to give you more. But the Most High knows is making a stipulation. All these things he given to Solomon is going to be conditional. He said, I'll even give you a length of days if you keep my laws, statutes, and commandments. And that's I read on.
And Solomon awoke, and behold, it was a dream. And he came to Jerusalem and stood before the ark of the covenant of the Adonai, and offered up burnt offerings, and offered peace offerings, and made a feast to all his servants. Then came there two women that were harlots unto the king, and stood before him. And the one woman said, O my Adonai, I and this woman dwell in one house, and I was delivered of a child with her in the house. And it came to pass, the third day after that I was delivered, that this woman was delivered also. And we were together. There was no stranger with us in the house, save we two in the house.
Right, so Solomon, when he went back to Jerusalem, these two women who were harlots approached him regarding the situation they were having about a child. I read on, let's see what it's talking about. Yeah, what it say? And it came to pass the third day after that I was delivered, that the woman was delivered also. So they both had a child, maybe 3 days apart. Read on, let's see what happened.
And this woman's child died. This woman's child died in the night because she overlaid it.
She died overnight because she slept on the baby. Yeah, they sleep in the same bed, and she inadvertently slept on the baby and crushed the baby to death, smothered the baby. That's what happened. That's what happened to one of the mother and her child. Read on.
And she arose at midnight and took my son from beside me while thy handmaid slept, and laid it in her bosom, and laid her dead child in my bosom. And when I rose in the morning to give my child suck, behold, it was dead. But when I had considered it in the morning, behold, it was not my son, which I bare. And the other woman said, Nay, but the living is mine, and the dead is thy son. And this said, No, but the dead is thy son, and the living is my son. Thus they spake before the king. Then said the king.
So that was the situation. One of them, the child died, and she did a switch. She put her dead child in the arm of the other woman, and took the woman's live living child, and claimed it to be hers. And but the woman awoke, and so tried to give her breastfeed a child. She said, "That's not my baby." And that's where the conflict. There was nobody else right there to say, okay, to be a witness for or against. So now they're coming out. So now they're consulting with Solomon to see what advice was give them to rectify the situation, because obviously one of them was lying. Read on.
Then said the king, verse 24, and the king said, Bring me a sword. And they brought a sword before the king. And the king said, Divide the living child in two, and give half to the one and half to the other. Then spake the woman whose the living child was unto the king, for her bowels yearned upon her son. And she said, O my other one, give her the living child, and in no wise slay it. But the other said, Let it be neither mine nor thine, but divide it. Then the king answered and said, Give her the living child, and in no wise slay it. She is the mother thereof.
So Solomon, he bluffed them. That was a bluff. That's what we call a bluff. Of course, he didn't intend to kill the child. He just wanted to see what mindset there was in. So Solomon said, you know what? Bring me a sword, remember machete, and chop the baby in two. You want half to one mother, the other half to the other mother. So the mother who was the one who was the mother of the living child said, because she was yearning for a baby. He said, let her have her. She never want to see her child die. You know what? It was better for her child to be living, to be alive with somebody else than to be dead. She said, let her have it. But the one now whose baby had died, she didn't care either way. He said, hey, I lost my baby. I don't mind if you lose yours. He said, go ahead and kill the baby. Since I can't have one, you can't have one either. And Solomon said, okay, I see what's up. I can see right away what the real matter is. So give the child to the woman who didn't want the baby to be killed. She's the mother of that child. I read on.
And all Israel heard of the judgment which the king had judged, and they feared the king, for they saw that the wisdom of the Most High was in him to do judgment. Right.
So that judgment reverberated all over Israel, and Solomon made a name for himself as far as making righteous judgments and exercising wisdom. Okay, so that's 3 chapters we did. We're able to squeeze in. It's 9:45 right now. So we're going to proceed with the Q&A, just in case there's anyone there watching or listening, asking a question for us. We're going to make an attempt to answer your question by Hashem HaMashiach Yahweh Shai. So if there's anyone has a question, please call and let us know what your questions are so we could give you the answer. I spread the more side, but I show much that was shot.
I'm doing it right now.
I'm gonna give you the number momentarily. It's up there? Since Moriah, Israel does LOZ have a tabernacle date yet?
No.
We probably do, but if we call in tomorrow, the brother Moshe was all that information. We'll probably give you more information on that.
I know it's in October, the 1st of October.
If they call in tomorrow, they could probably get a definite date. The number you'll see is 954-526-5299. Got another 10 minutes. We're gonna wrap it up. Brothers gonna get ready to go to camp. A couple of hours. Don't forget tomorrow. What do you have? 11 o'clock with Hebrew class. 12 o'clock we have the starting of the Sabbath service. And then we'll go. And we decided camp is going to be at Yakina, Captain Yakina.
Yes, sir. On Sunday, we're going to have a class concerning credit.
On Sunday,
Yeah.
we're going to have counseling and credit.
Yeah.
Okay.
The title will be Hard Not to Live from Paycheck to Paycheck.
Okay, so Sunday, what time is that going to be Sunday?
5 p.m.
So, okay, so Sunday, Captain Yakina is telling me that we're going to have a class at 5 p.m. Eastern, how not to live, a counseling and credit, how not to live from paycheck to paycheck, because that's one of the situations most of our people are going through, living from paycheck to paycheck. Because we live in a society where with the economy or the financial situation are structured a way where America is based heavily on credit, which a lot of our people have abused and misused and are not educated about, and because of that, we find ourselves in some dire situations from time to time, where we're not able to leverage our income, our assets, the way other ethnic groups or races are able to, because we were not educated properly about the importance of credit. So we have some brothers or sisters who are gonna advise us on how to change that, so we can have a better financial situation. That's gonna be this Sunday coming, the Most High willing, at 5 p.m. That should be it. That person recording already, right? So let's wrap it up then. I Madiam Wapanya, Jerusalem, standing place Jerusalem. Psalms 133. Shayar, Kama Aiwa, Ladawa, Ana, Ma, Tawab, Wama, Naayam, Shabbat, Akyam, Gam, Yakad, Kashaman, Atawab, Ail, Araash, Yarad, Ail, Azakwan, Zakwan, Haran, Shayarad, Ail, Paya, Barawak Yawa, Katal, Karamwan, Shayarad, Ail, Araria, Tazayawan, Kaya, Sham, Tazawa, Yahawa, Abaraka, Kayayam, I Walam, Ba'asham, Amashiach, Yahushai, Yawara, Aman.
The book of Psalms, chapter 133, verse 1. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It is like the precious ointment upon the head, that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, that went down to the skirts of his garments, as the dew of Harmon, and as the dew that descended upon the mountains of Zion. For there Yahweh commanded the blessing, even life forevermore. Abana Yahweh, Ba'ashem Mashiach Yahushai, for water, Damyan, Aman.
Hallelujah. Shalom Yasharala, to water for watching, for listening in. Don't forget, tomorrow, the Most High willing, 11 o'clock, we have the Shabbat service. So, we have a Hebrew class, and 11 o'clock and 12 noon.